live in, sorry, brain speed. We're working on it. Okay, here we go. Oh, now it's doing this stupid thing again. Hang on. I'm trying to go live into a group and it's just not. Sometimes it lets me and sometimes it doesn't.
I'm on my third day of my 3-day reset, and I finally got to the point where Restore is drinkable. I don't make bad faces anymore when I have it. So just to let y'all know, some of us can drink anything. You too, Carrie?
How funny is that? And you know what? I said the same thing. So, okay, we're just going to go with the recording tonight. I'll have to slip it into Grow and all the places. But hi, welcome to our Tuesday night team call. Tonight, we are actually going to talk a bit about reset benefits, what people have seen. If you guys have any questions, we happen to have two absolute experts with us. Of course, the lovely Carrie Spratley and our own Dr. Sherry Grant. Okay, for those of you who don't know Sherry, she's not actually a doctor, but we always call her Dr. Sherry. Anyway, and I think Carrie's on her. Are you on your day 2, hun? Day 2 of her next round of reset. Sherry's on her day 3. I'm on day 4. So, and Sherry, this is your 3rd, right? Or is this your 4th? That's 4th. Okay. So let's start with that for just a second. Okay. Reset. The drink at the end of it, if you guys have not done this yet, I would love to see a show of hands. Okay, the only thing that we have is a thumbs up or a thumbs down. You could give me a thumb in the middle if you wanted to. As far as what you like, would you tell me if you have done it? Could you give me a thumbs up, a thumbs to the side, or a thumbs down just on the screen? Okay, so we have some thumbs down people who don't like Restore or who maybe you haven't tried it. No, I know Janelle hasn't tried it. Chelsea, have you? I think you're nursing. Are you doing?
I'm changing my vote.
I think the question was, have we done the reset?
Yeah.
Thumbs up if you've done the reset.
Thumbs up if you've done a reset, or thumbs
up.
down if you have not. Okay. Now, if you like Restore, which is the drink at the end, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Okay. So here is the funny thing about this to me. I heard somebody say this, and I think it was Jen Hawkins, who said by her 4th go round of Restore or of doing Restore, she really liked it. Like she was craving the drink at the end. The first go round, I was like, yeah, it's okay. I was a little nervous because I am not like you ladies. I cannot just choke things down because it doesn't work that way for me. I will choke it down and it will welcome itself back into my presence quite swiftly. The gag reflex is so strong over here. So I had it totally expecting I was going to be like retching. I drank it outside just in case. White carpet and the pink, like the dark pink drink is not, yeah. And it was good. And it was good. I could understand the bitterness. Sherry kind of warned me there was a little bit of bitterness, but my story goes that by the 3rd reset, I was like, yeah, I actually really want this. I want to drink it. And so Jen Hawkins had said it was almost like it detoxed something in her and she wanted it more as time progressed. I don't know. Carrie and Sherry, do you have concepts on that? You're both in the thumbs down party, so I want to hear from you.
I'll answer first because I choked it down the first round, like drank it, hated it, drank it hot because somebody said that was better, added lemon juice because somebody said that was better. It was just bad no matter what I did. By the 3rd one, I decided, well, I'm going to try it cold. That was just as bad. Anyway, now this round, I'm able to drink it cold, lots of ice, bitterness is there. It's acceptable. So it's not a choke thing anymore. But if I can get to where I'm craving it, this is going to take a few more rounds for me.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, Carrie, what are your thoughts on it?
So I'm a little bit weird. I am kind of a I don't know, things that are healthy for me, I appreciate them differently. So typically I like things that people don't normally like because they're good for you. Does that make sense?
Right.
So when I think about what I'm doing, my mind space is this is doing a really good thing for my body. And then my gratitude level for it changes, my mindset around for it changes. And then my palate doesn't bother me because I've birthed 3 boys and I can pretty much do anything for 3 days. I mean, if I can have a human living in my body for 9 months, I can drink a drink for 3 days. So I think it's a mind game about what we're doing and why we're doing it. Like when I've heard all these fun stories. Janelle and I are in a chat of all these fun stories of what people say and do. Like they ate a hot dog on their 3rd day, at the end of their 3rd day. I'm like,
Gosh,
you're so
why?
close. Why would you eat a hot dog? So I understand what it's doing. I'm grateful for what it's doing. This is my 3rd round, and my body has changed in ways that I'm astounded and grateful for. So I'll do it again and again and again. And there's 30 days in between. And I also want you to know that crazy me, I've not had processed sugar since June.
That's amazing.
Like, not on my radar, easily turn it down. Like, my birthday's coming up in September. I'm like, what do I do about my birthday cake? Because it doesn't even sound good. And it's weird, like you would choose something just for the sake of tradition or celebrating. But I'm like, but what if it doesn't sound good? Why would I eat something that doesn't sound good? Like processed sugar does not sound palatable to me. I eat fruit, not a lot of it, but I eat fruit. So I get fructose, but like processed sugar, it's just so far gone off my radar. So I'm not mad about that. So
Yeah.
I process all these things about what's happening on the inside of my body as a result of doing these 8 products 3 days in a row, once a month. And it's just astounding to me what happens to the body and how we respond to that. Like,
Mhm.
is powerful.
Totally. Let's talk a little bit more about what's going on between our ears, because I know that for me was a really surprising thing doing reset. The first go round, I hit day 3 and my brain was like, you will surely die today. Just gonna tell you, sweetie, we're gonna die unless we eat death. Lots of it. And I'm like, but I'm not hungry. Like I'm having this conversation with my brain because I do it all the time. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know you're not hungry, but you're gonna die from it. And it was so funny because I'm like, I actually texted Sherry. I'm like, I feel like I'm going to die. I'm sure I'm not going to. I know I'm not going to, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to. And so, it was just so funny. And I didn't really think much of it. I ended up getting really sick that day too, which was really funky. But then the second go round, I had that same we're gonna die thing. And I think it came around day 2. And I'm like, but I'm not going to die. That's actually not true. And I'm not even hungry. But then more people started talking about emotional detox and how emotions can be stored in fat cells. And when we get rid of fat cells, when we are detoxing, we can emotionally detox as well. And if you are prone to anxiety or you have been prone to anxiety in the past, this can come out. And so being aware of that and being like, oh, hello, anxiety. Isn't that interesting that you're here today? Guess you're coming along. We're not going to die. We're just not eating. It's fine. And actually we are eating because we're eating this right now. That was my experience. And it happened again this time where I was like, yep, totally going to die. Like, but I'm not going to die. It's so funny what your brain will tell you. But I think there's more mental, more of a mental element to this than people realize. How many times we've heard people be like, oh my gosh, I did it. I did it for 3 days. And I feel so good about myself now that I could commit to something for 3 days. It's like micro commitments, you guys.
Yeah.
So good. Sherry, what are your thoughts on emotional detox and
I 100% agree that there's emotional detox as part of the whole process, because I think it is a real cellular level. I also think that each round is very, or could be very different for everyone, because you're starting at a different place.
Mhm.
So each time it's like peeling an onion. Each time you're at a different layer. So you might have emotional detox once, and then you might not have emotional detox. And the other thing that I've been realizing for some people is, because it is that low of a calorie level for a few days, if you're on medications, your medications can work differently when you change the kinds of foods and the calorie level that you're eating. So just an awareness for people that that might be something that they need to consider when they're on a medication.
Yeah, totally agree. So ladies, what would you suggest people do on day 4 after they're done their reset? What does it look like for you guys reintroducing into your regular diet? You jump right back in. Obviously, no hot dog for Carrie. We've already established that one.
We were in Las Vegas for our day 4.
Okay. Okay.
We had flown, we flew out. Did we fly out that day? I think we flew out on our day 4. So we finished day 3 and then we flew out to Las Vegas in day 4. And so we just had our regular protein shake when we got up in the morning. And I think we took our protein with us. We had a protein shake and a banana when we got there. But then we went out with the team. Anthony, we were there for Anthony's basketball. We went out for a steak dinner, and that steak did not sit well.
No, interesting.
It was so heavy. Like, I felt it the entire next day. So I think the advice of keeping your protein up, but having, fruit, veggies, adding some good fats into your diet, I think eating lighter on that day is definitely a good plan. Not a steak dinner, at a steakhouse.
No steakhouse for Vegas in day 4.
No.
Got it. Right. I'm making notes. No hot dog, no steakhouse. Okay. Carrie, what are your thoughts on day 4?
I just kind of paid attention to what my body said, and it, interestingly enough, like, I got up day 4, did my hydrate, right? And then, okay, so what will breakfast be? And I have followed the same eating and supplementing schedule of the reset since June 27th. So I've got alarms on my phone. So my body is asking for those hunger cues and supplement cues, because I've been doing it the same. And I think that's part of the success that I've had too, is I've always known I was undernourished. I mean, I've been to nutrition school. I know what I'm supposed to get. I'm just too dang busy. Well, at least that's the story I've told myself, right? And the truth is, sometimes I do get to dinner and I sit down on the table, I'm like, crap, I've had 15 grams of protein. And I know that because I do kind of a mental processing kind of throughout the day and say, hey, where you at? Hey, where you at? Right. So I've just stayed in that similar pattern, but also was just kind of paced it and said, okay, I'm going to do some eggs. I had heard that somebody said that something about red meat on day 4 was probably not an awesome idea. I heeded that advice. We went out to Mexican food for dinner that night. I just kind of stayed away from meat altogether. I just did a cheese enchilada and that worked. I mean, I did fine. So I think intuitive eating is powerful, but also intentional eating is powerful. Eating intuitively, supplementing intuitively, just kind of fluidly kind of going between those two has just really worked for me. And I've just stayed in that pattern, and that's helped me.
Awesome. Sherry, do you have any thoughts?
I absolutely. I love the beef comments, because we raise beef. We're ranchers. It's what we do. It's what my freezer's full of. And so I just have to really smile. But like Carrie, I just simply did the first items of the reset is what I've had every morning now for ever since I did the first reset.
Mhm.
And so then when I was ready for a meal, I do my own bone broth. So I simply used bone broth, put vegetables in to add some fiber, add some additional nutrients, and added ground beef because that's a protein source for me. And it was perfect for me. Like Carrie said, though, a little bit of intuitiveness, a little bit of portion awareness. I was
Mm.
eating much smaller portions than I had been. I could have had some steak, but I certainly wouldn't have had a 6-ounce steak. I'd have had maybe 3 ounces of steak, which is far less than I would typically have in a meal. So yes, I think I found that I ate way less, but I ate very similarly to the reset program in terms of the kinds of things, not what I would typically have eaten in a
Mm.
regular day.
So what has been the most surprising thing that you guys have found? Because I think probably the three of us here, maybe Amy, I was just gonna say, I think that we've done the most ones, the most resets since.
I think
Um,
Amy's doing 3rd reset this week.
So what's been the most surprising thing that you have found? Because I know Carrie, things have just totally changed for you. Which is so brilliant because, like, if you guys don't know, Carrie has a huge background, like she said, in nutrition, and she knows all the things. She's got the big brain. And this was like next level help for her.
It was just getting past the story I told myself about the fact that I was getting too busy. And the fact is, all I needed was a reminder. Because once the reminder goes off, I go to it. And then even if I'm going to be out and about, I'm thinking about, okay, so I'm going to be out for a couple hours. What am I going to need for the next couple of hours while I'm away from the house? So I think it takes 21 days to create a habit. So that's why I love the whole idea of continuing that similar pattern too. And I was like, my body responded. It lost 8 pounds the first time. I'm like, it definitely responded to 70 grams of protein. So I'm like, why not? Then because really what it said is you gave me 70 grams of protein for 3 days and it trusted me to continue to do that as a source to burn fuel because it said, okay, you're going to be a good nutrition person. You're going to get adequate nutrition into your body. And so it trusted. So it wasn't looking to the stores. It was just looking, right? It wasn't looking to what's coming. It was looking to the stores of the fat that was there. I'm a very disciplined, clean eater. My fridge and pantry are organic, non-GMO ingredients. But it doesn't really matter as much when you don't actually get it in your body because your body will store fat if it doesn't trust you to give it the nutrition it needs. It just panics, panic. So, I think that's so powerful. I mean, is it safe to assume everybody here is like somebody who shares our product?
Yes.
Yes. So I think another component that just kind of how my brain works is you talked about, going forward and how we look at it. I love to help people. So every experience I have with each reset, it gives me another conversation under my tool belt to be able to equip and empower people and have a variety of experiences that I can speak to. And then even just as my body continues to change and evolve, my ability to help people changes too, because they're gonna continue to watch and follow and trust. And I think I've had probably 3 or 4 messages today from people just alone who are just continuing to follow and watch my journey in varying degrees. So it's fun for me to be able to be in a process, painting the picture for what's possible for people using this tool that generates what I believe to be astounding impact on the inside of the body. So because I believe that, then I move in that in all my thoughts and words and actions and deeds. And I think that's a powerful tool that we can, incorporate into our thought life in relationship to this. Isn't just about us. I mean, really, it shouldn't just be about us. It really is always, okay, so how can whatever I'm going through be for the benefit of other people, right? Whether good, bad, or ugly, right? Like, how can I benefit other people? I'm glad I didn't have a My third day on my first round was terrible. I felt like such crap. And that kind of took down my pride component, right? I got humbled a little bit. But that gave me empathy for people who felt crappy, because how terrible would it be if I couldn't identify with how crappy they felt, right? So I think that's everything that we do is meaningful. Like, never discount. If you have a day where you don't lose, value that, because you're going to be able to encourage somebody who's going to have a day that they get up and they're going to check, and they're not going to lose and say, okay, friend, I know how you feel. Here's what I found when I decided I was on a journey for a life. I wasn't worried about what that number looked like that day. I was looking forward to the future and the future results for what this was for us. So
Yeah.
if you give me an inch, I'll take a mile with elaboration. So my apologies.
I love it. I love it. And we'll say it again in case we haven't all heard it. There are studies that are showing that 70 grams of protein a day is the minimum amount that you need for 6 weeks to balance your hormones for protein. Like, we're all women on here. I'm sure that our significant others could attest to maybe needing some hormonal help every now and again. They don't want to lose their heads, right? And we can do this with protein, which is so, so brilliant. Something that I heard, sorry, Sherry, go ahead. You were going to say something.
Oh, no, I was just going to say yes. And I actually have started using an app and started tracking protein because, like Carrie, I know all the things, but I'd gotten quite lax in terms of actually following through on the details of it. My protein was abysmal. And actually my husband's as well. And so really have focused on increasing the protein. And I think that has done wonders for my ability to maintain the gains I have made with each reset. I think that's been really huge.
And I love the new formulation of the lean. Like, I'm so happy that they did this.
No,
like,
it's like cake batter, you guys. Cake
So-
batter.
It
Like,
is.
I look forward to it. I bought these fun cups on Amazon. They're just reusable. It has a cute little lid and a big fat straw. And it's my I make it fun and fancy. Fun and make it fun and make your protein fun and fancy. And I think it changes colors too. Like when there's liquid in there or something. I don't know, but there's all kinds of things that we can do to make wellness fun, enjoyable, meaningful, and all the things that it should and could be. I was thinking just before I got on this call, so I'm about to be a grandma here pretty quick for the first time. And I was like, so I want to feel like a grandma in my soul, but I don't want to look like a grandma in my body.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I take care of myself, right? Because I want to be there. I want to be present. I want to be viable. I want to have all the energy. I want to outrun them, you know?
You are going to get asked if that baby is yours. Like, there's hands down, nobody will believe you.
I will not be mad about that conversation.
Nobody's going to believe you.
I know.
Nobody.
50 and fabulous.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, would you guys stick in the chat how you like to have your lean? Because there may be some people on here that don't know the best way to have your lean. So throw that in the comments, which flavor you like, vanilla or chocolate, and then tell me how you like it the best. Something that I heard from a friend, and I'm just going to keep this very generic because she hasn't come out and shared it yet. But this is a friend of mine who had major abdominal surgery to the point that she was told that she would still have inflammation in a year, like massive abdominal surgery. And she eats very clean. They're very health conscious, like very, very much like what Carrie was saying. She's very fit. And so she did the reset, just did the reset 3 days. And she's like, yeah, okay, I lost 3 pounds. She doesn't look like she has anything to lose anyway. She's like, yeah, I lost 3 pounds. That's really great. But what surprised her was her pain amount. The amount that it took down her inflammation. She had a picture today. She was wearing her seatbelt around her middle. She's like, I can wear my seatbelt in the car without being in so much pain. And she's like, because even like the massive amount of surgery, it was abdominal, there was a hernia surgery, whatever. She's like, I can touch my skin without it hurting, without it feeling like knives. So we need to realize, again, this is not all about weight. There's a reason that the weight stays on. And sometimes we're a little complicated. Sometimes a little bit more complicated than just triplex. We need to sort ourselves out. Sometimes it's protein deficiency. Sometimes it's absorption, any of those kinds of things. But we need to realize that what's happening, what's shedding on the outside is a reflection of what's happening in the balance on the inside. Like my hands today, I woke up this morning and I'm like, I can tell my inflammation levels are down simply by looking at the bones in my hands and the bones in my feet. I now weigh what I weighed at the end of 12th grade. Glory, hallelujah to that.
Yeah.
I do not expect to lose any more weight. And that's the thing. From this point out, if this is where I'm at with weight, I do not expect to lose any more weight. That is not even on my radar.
But you can lose inflammation.
You can lose inflammation. Yes.
Between now and your next reset, you're going to do things to your body through the environment, through your food that are going to cause inflammation. And so this is resetting your inflammation levels on a cellular level. I go for walks in my neighborhood as part of my exercises. I've got this little 3 mile stretch that I do. And the other day, occasionally I'll commandeer my husband, talk him into going with me. And prior to reset, he was walking faster than me. And I had to tell him, hey, dude, your legs are a little bit longer, slow down. But this last walk that we did a couple of days ago, unbeknownst to me, he said, what? Slow down, sister. And I was like, oh, my body feels differently. Like it has the energy and the stamina at a different capacity. And it's like, you don't think about those things, right? You just don't.
That's awesome. So my last question on reset is for you ladies, when is a good time to do another reset? When would you want to do one?
Well, I'll answer because I just decided to do one after I'd been at my daughter-in-law's helping her with harvest meals. And so I was following my program all morning, taking kids to swimming lessons, doing my shake at noon when I got back, and eating harvest meals every night, just like the men, except a smaller portion. Harvest meals that included spaghetti and cheese with the chicken, apple pie, cheesecake, like every time. Yes, I managed portions. However, in the whole process, I came back 2 pounds heavier. My reset has moved me right back to lower than I was before, and I feel wonderful. I'll do a reset before a special event so that I fit whatever I want to wear. I'll do a reset after a big event where I may have eaten more than I have planned to on a regular basis. So that's a couple of the times that I would sure think about doing a reset.
I think a really good time to do one would be during times of the year, right? Or before, like a couple weeks before, you know, you're going to want to eat in excess, or you're going to want to have sugar, or you're going to want to, you know, go out and maybe your portion size is going to be bigger, because it's going to kind of remind your body, oh, hey, wait, we don't need this, right? Like Carrie said, she hasn't had sugar and she hasn't wanted it. And the subsequent resets have continued to support that behavior, right? So can you imagine if you did a reset at the beginning of December to kind of remind your body like, hey, yeah, like a couple cookies this month, not a bad thing, but you don't need as many as you maybe normally do. And then you can kind of put it all back together, do another one afterwards and move on. Carrie, what are your thoughts? I'm curious.
I'm planning on doing it monthly, at least through after the new year. We've got our Hawaii trip in September, and I'm going to squeak in one more reset just shy of 30 days before Hawaii. but then I figured, with Thanksgiving and Christmas in there, it's just like, just keep it going. But for me, it's a combination. It's not just about me and what I'm going to experience. I like to cast the vision to other people. So part of my journey doing this is so that I have something to speak to for other people who are in my life that I can impact, right? It's just, I just want to keep talking about it because I want people to experience it. And so doing it personally gives a lot more credibility and an authentic conversation about what it's like and what my experiences are. And I want to help a lot of people. I don't know about you guys, but I want to help a lot of people. So it's about painting the picture for what's possible for other people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that along with that, you're more able to invite people along with you. Hey, I'm doing this. Who wants to join me? Right? So you got that as an option as well.
And if you haven't done it, whether it's just, where you're at or you're nursing or whatever, there's enough people that are talking about it in your leadership line. You can be like, this is where I'm at. I haven't done it yet, but this is where I'm working towards. This is what I want to do. Here's my friend's story, right? Like, again, we don't all have to have our own stories in order to share. We can borrow each other's. And again, that's probably another reason why Carrie and Sherry and myself, like we're doing more of these, because we want to give you guys a platform. If that's not where you're at right now, that's okay. But we want you to share our stories too. So, all right.
Even if you don't like have quote unquote the weight loss or inch loss or whatever it is that you can experience through this, you can still speak to the fact that you're doing something and you're inviting other people on a journey to do it with you, because their journey is going to be different than yours, right? Most likely. So it's still about saying, hey, I'm going to the grocery store. Who wants to go with me?
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. Okay. So we're going to tap into a training video that's all about wrapping up month end. I was watching another one and I really loved that one. And then I kind of squirreled and saw this one and I'm like, no, we need to watch this. So make sure that you're thinking about this in terms of it being August to September. This was recorded 4 months ago, but it was done by Christina Williams. And I always love all of her trainings. So can't wait to hear what you guys think. Grab a pen and some paper. And we are in that month end stretch, even though it is only the 23rd. That means that we've got like a lovely week and a day. Well, the 31st is on Wednesday. And as always, we have a culture of working to the end of the month. Whether it's just continuing to reach out to people, whether it's, closing the deal, whether it's starting new conversations, we just continue to work until the end because we don't want anyone left behind. So we are going to do this. And this is where we want to go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Live. We are at the end of March. Where the heck is the year going? I'm really pumped to get to train you guys tonight on how to crush the end of the month, what to do with the follow-up, how to close the deal, why it matters. We're going to dive into tonight. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Great. Why am I terrible at presenting?
Can I just say I love how your title, just Crushing Month's End, it just fits so well with these beautiful flowers. I think it's like balance.
Listen, my poor, sweet, beautiful assistant, she probably just like, how can I make Christina less? How can I make less? Okay, here we go. Crushing Month's End, the power of follow-up and closing the deal. All right. So first of all, what I want to celebrate is the fact that we've got massive, massive momentum happening on our team. It is super fun when momentum is here. So congratulations for those of you in momentum. I see you. I'm cheering you on. It's so huge. We've got more joins. We have people going for highest points ever. So let's celebrate that. Whatever your win is right now or what you're working on, drop that in the chat. Let people know what you are working on. We've got people ranking up. I'm seeing in my rank advancement report, they're just people everywhere, all different ranks, all different levels. And it is super duper exciting. So just want you to know, we celebrate you. Way to go. Super proud of you guys. But now what, right? Now what? Here's what I want you to know. Every ounce of what you're seeing now is a result of something that a leader did, or a decision that they made, or a habit that they implemented. Something changed months ago, likely, that has allowed for the results that you see now. So I'm going to talk about this several times tonight, but momentum is an energy. It is not a result. Like right now, we're not in momentum suddenly. It's an energy that produces the results that you see now. And an energy is something that, first of all, a leader has to muster it up, a leader has to model it, and then a leader has to be able to impart it. Okay, so momentum is an energy. The good news is you can create it. So what you want to know, what you want to think about is what has happened in the last 90 days that has allowed my team to accomplish this? What have I changed? What have I stopped? What have I started that has allowed this? And what must I do to keep this going? Some of you right now are sitting back like, I can enjoy the rest of the month. I got that remarkable. Huh? What you mean? No, our business, it's fluid. We don't just stop and decide to let off because we achieved an incentive. The long-term goal has never been a remarkable, right? Long-term goal is next rank, diamond for some of you, whatever your goal is. Okay, so here we go. Momentum is an energy. At some point, people that you're noticing momentum in their business, they decided to make a change. They were tired of staying at the same points. They were tired of seeing their points go backward. They were tired of building this business alone. They felt these pains, which is what I want you to know. Number one, people who are in momentum now, it's not because they've not had to deal with pain. A lot of the times, guys, if you're unmuted, please mute yourself. A lot of the times, people who are in momentum now got there because they were tired of the pain. They got there because they were tired of the undesired result, and they decided to take ownership and change it. Okay, so this is not, oh, lucky for them, they're in momentum. This is, they got tired and they decided to change it. Okay, go sit right there. All right, so what changed? Something motivated them, here, take that. Something motivated them to start creating this energy of momentum. Here is what it usually is. They decided to get out of their comfort zone. There was something, one big major thing probably that they were avoiding. And a lot of the times they decided to just start doing that, kind of like a last ditch effort. Like, okay, well, they're saying that welcome calls are what's going to take. So fine, I'll just do it. Or she's saying personal growth is what I need. So fine, I'll just do it. Like they finally get to the point that they're willing to do what they're avoiding. And they do what the most successful people are doing, even if they don't feel like it. They decide that, oh, Christina said I'm supposed to have them on the phone to ask the magic question. Yet every time Christina asks me how it went with the magic question, I say, well, I kind of sort of asked it, or, well, I asked them in Messenger and they said this. They decided eventually that that wasn't working, and they would just go do what I was telling them to do, regardless of how they felt about it. And so they, whatever it is, welcome calls, cold messaging, sharing the business, following up about the business, whatever it is that people have changed, it usually is because they've just decided last ditch effort, fine, I'll do whatever they're telling me to do. And something shifted in their thoughts that has just now shown up in their results. So why is that good news for you? So that means that if you're willing to do these things, shift your thoughts, change your actions, be hungry to grow, that in the next 30, 60, 90 days, if you're not already in momentum, you could be. And if you are currently in momentum, this is what it's going to require to keep it. Okay. All right. Consistency. The people that you see having momentum this month have been doing all the things consistently. They didn't just start doing it this month. Some of you just started recruiting this month because you wanted the tablet. And listen, I'm here to tell you, if that tablet motivated you to start doing this, imagine what making $20,000 a month would do for your family. You could buy all the things you ever wanted. So whatever it was that motivated some people to start, just use that in order to cast vision even bigger, bigger, bigger. Okay. The people that you see having momentum this month with rank ups on their team, they weren't waiting for an incentive to promote activity. The girls that are going Ruby this month, they were already in activity. They were doing all the things so that when company incentives showed up, they were ready to capitalize on it. But you guys, here's the fun part. These girls would have hit that rank regardless, right? Because they were doing things consistently. They've been doing it all along. If we just focus on consistency, coupled with some intensity moving forward, you'll also be taking advantage of this momentum as well. Okay. Hold on, let me move you guys out of my way. All right, here we go. Oh, listen. Whatever you were able to create this month, some of you came in and you recruited a record number of people this month. You've never recruited 6 people in your life. And all of a sudden this month you did, because the remarkable was on the table. You guys, imagine if you worked with that belief long-term, like, okay, I can do this thing. I can do what I've never done before. I can do it. Imagine if you worked that way all the time. What if you really chose to see yourself as a diamond and work with that passion and conviction all the time? Whatever belief you were telling yourself about your activity this month, it'll be worth it because I'll get the remarkable. It'll be worth it because my team will see me earn this. It'll be worth it because. Just know if you were working with that same belief system all month long, every month, the remarkable would be the very least of your concerns. What if you worked with this same excitement and rigor every week of every month, instead of every few months for 1 or 2 weeks a month? Imagine if you decided to just throw that mentality to the wind and just say, you know what, how I've worked this month, it's manageable, and I could continue to do this. Hint, you could buy as many remarkables as you wanted if you decided to do that. What if you cared just as much about your team hitting their next rank as you do about them earning the remarkable? What if we were just as involved and just as encouraging and just as whatever with helping our people get to the next rank as we are with helping them earn this remarkable? Guys, do you believe that the next rank advancement is going to be just as powerful for their life and their family as a tablet? Yes, of course it will. Okay, so what do we do with that now? Here's how we follow up for the end of the month. Listen, I have a full 10-step follow-up system. It is in Guide 5 in the team page. I could not, for the sake of time, bring you the whole follow-up system. I couldn't do it. It's there with typed out messages, with the flow chart. All of it is there, Guide 5. Okay, if you don't know how to follow up, maybe this is your first month, you came on board because of the remarkable. We're so glad that you're here, and we have equipped you with a system that can make you very successful at sharing Plexus. So learn it. Guide 5, go check it out. Okay, but here are 2 sample messages for end of the month. You can screenshot this if you'd like. I will read them briefly. Hey, Samantha, what do you guys have planned for the end of the month? It's actually our spring break, so we're headed to the beach for a couple days. True story. This is my message. I know when we connected earlier in this month, Plexus was something that you were interested in. So wanted to pop back in since we only have a few days left in the month, and I don't want you to miss the discounts that are slipping by. So wanted to check and see if you had any questions I could answer for you, or see if you're ready to go ahead and get started. So I'm reminding her, hey, this was your idea, and I'm creating urgency like, hey, these are slipping by. Let's go. Let's do this. Hey, Samantha, I know back before when we were chatting, Plexus seemed like it was a good fit for you. So I wondered if I could ask what's keeping you from jumping in and getting started. Look at that typo. Rachel's fired. Just kidding, Rachel. It was because I changed the message. Basically, hey, Plexus seemed like a good fit. Wanted to pop in here and see if I could ask what's holding you back. Something's keeping you from closing the deal. Don't say closing the deal. Something's keeping you from pulling the trigger. Some people don't want you to say that either. Gracious. Basically find out why they ain't ordering yet. Like, is there something that's holding you back? Sometimes it's a husband's remark. Sometimes it's finances. Sometimes it's whatever. So you're just inviting that conversation. Like, hey, what's holding you back? So, okay. Now listen, you're going to send those messages today and tomorrow. Okay. Don't look at this timeline yet. I just covered it up on my screen like that. I was going to cover it up on yours. Today and tomorrow, you're going to send this message. Okay, these, but you're going to follow up again at the end of the month. Now, some of you are saying, oh my gosh, I can't do that. That's just 3 days apart. Listen, when you got Kohl's cash that's about to expire, Kohl's be emailing you every 6 hours. I'm not even kidding. They're like, hey, Christina, you have $80 of Kohl's cash that's going to expire in a week. Christina, don't forget 4 days left to use your $80 in Kohl's cash. It's a huge savings. Hey, Christina, 24 hours left. And then they will email you again that last hour and say, final call, Kohl's cash going out the door. I never once am annoyed because usually it's that last email that reminds me to go spend it. And they keep it so focused on me. They want to make sure I'm getting the best deal and that I don't miss out. So keep your messages to them like, hey, listen, I just wanted to remind you, like I wanted to make sure that I was providing great customer care. Few hours left for this sale. Just wanted to put it back in here. Final reminder. It's not salesy or sleazy or slimy or anything. You're just saying, hey, don't forget. I know you're busy. Life is busy. Here's what I've got for you. Let me know if you need it. Okay. So you're going to send this today and tomorrow, you guys. And then the 30th and the 31st, you're going to do the uncomfortable thing about saying, hey, listen, heads up. If you're not ready for this yet, totally fine. Let me know. And I'm going to give you some other things to say in a second, but just know once you send this out tonight, your work is not done with this person for the month. You got to follow up one more time. Okay. And just because I told you guys to go find all of the messages, I just want to show you guys this flow chart. People ask me how often, like, how do you get through 10 follow-ups? Here you go. And what I love about this timeline, you should totally print it out because it tells you at any point in this flow chart, if they're engaging with you and then stop engaging, that's okay. Go back to the day 3 timeline and continue following up from there. So it kind of lets you know, oh, this is normal. Oh, this is normal. So there's your follow-up. That's how you get them through the whole follow-up process in a year. Okay, closing the deal. Listen, stop waiting for people to ask you to take their money. Stop waiting for them to ask you. Offer to close the deal. So what can you say? How am I on time? Okay. All right, listen, here's a good closing phrase. Hey, Brittany, from all the information I sent you, what could you relate with the most? So after you shared information, hey, what could you relate with the most? What stood out to you the most? And then I'm notorious for this. I assume the close. Listen, if they hadn't said no, it's a yes. It's a yes for me. I'm like, hey, okay, great. Listen, I'm so glad you could relate with ABC. Listen, sounds like this is a great fit. Why don't I go ahead and give you a call? I'll walk you through the sign up process. Now, Brittany at that time might say, oh, well, I mean, actually, hold on. I don't think we've talked about cost yet. Or actually, you know what? I could relate with that, but I had this question. So I just assumed the close, like, hey, I'm so glad you could relate. Why don't I shoot you a call real quick? We'll go ahead and get this taken care of. Another thing I'll say is, listen, did you have any more questions for me or were you ready to get started? Ask that and then wait. Were you ready to get started? Let's go. But guys, to me, honestly, when I'm looking at this, I'm like, this feels really basic. Am I helping them at all? But then I listen and I read conversations and we wait for people to say, okay, I'm ready now. We assume when they're ready, they'll come back. It's the worst mistake you can make. Absolute worst mistake you can make. When they're ready, they'll come back. No way. Listen, when they're ready, you need to be there. You need to have been following up and been saying, hey, listen, I'm here to serve you. Let me ask you this. Do you see this as a good fit for you? You ready to get started? If yes, great. Let's jump on the phone. Let's get you all set up. If not, okay, well, cool. What information do you think you would need to be able to make that decision? And I'm looking here at, well, I need to wait for payday, or I need to wait for, I need to ask my doctor, whatever they're going to say. And then it gives you a chance to say, okay, well, listen, I understand what you're saying. Like, it is an investment in money. Like, I get that. It's an investment. But what if Plexus could help you with all of those things that you mentioned before? Like, wouldn't that be a wise investment? So you get them to kind of turn their thinking from a sacrifice to an investment, so forth and so on. But a lot of the times you just have to be willing to solicit the conversation. Got to be willing to draw people out and not afraid of what they're going to say. The whole time you're completely unemotionally attached. You're just attempting to provide great customer service, and great customer service reps follow up. They follow up. Okay. So then I handle whatever they were saying about their money or their husband or their doctor. I said, great. Well, so you feel better now about getting started? If yes, great. Let's get to my website. Let me help you out. If not, okay, well, listen, I definitely want to be respectful of timing because I'm completely confident that when you're ready to make this a priority, our products are going to help you a ton. Since you're not quite ready, why don't I drop you a free sample in the mail? Love for you to experience the ease of fitting it all in and our delicious flavor. And then the key right here is schedule a time to chat again. The reason I go for a sample at this point is because I've gone through the follow-up process. I've attempted to handle their objections. I've attempted to close the deal multiple times. And at this point, I want them to know I'm in it for them. So I'm going to offer a single stick. And listen, I only probably send 10 a year. I mean, I very, very rarely need samples. But if I do get to this point, I take one of my sticks, put it in an envelope, write a cute little note, send it in the mail. Because for me, that is how I feel confident knowing I offered great service. Like I did everything I could to get them to understand I believe wholeheartedly in what I have and what I'm willing to offer. Plus it gives me a reason to follow back up in a couple days. Hey, did you try your pink drink? What did you think? Here's what I need you guys to take to the bank. Successful people do consistently what other people do occasionally. Be the person starting today. It's real fun to start new habits and momentum, right? It's real fun. Start them now. Decide to just be consistent at all the things. Some of you just have to pick one thing. You're doing everything else consistently. You just got to pick the other thing, the one thing. You know the thing. You know what you're avoiding. Some of you need to pick the thing and decide right now to stop avoiding it. That one thing, if you will stop avoiding it, will catapult your business further and faster than anything else that I could tell you to do. Stop avoiding it. And then I want you to look at this. What you see on the right is a ballerina, and it's beautiful and it's polished and she's strong and all that. What you see on the left is the work. It's the work. So sometimes when you have a team in momentum, you're like, oh my gosh, I just want so much for what they have. Listen, here's what I want you to know. Don't pine for someone else's results. Instead, study their efforts and emulate their willingness to learn. Don't wish for what they have, but be willing to work like they have been willing to work. Just decide to do what the people that you're admiring are doing for as long as they're willing to do it, for as many times as they fell forward, over and over and over again. Because just because they look like the perfectly polished ballerina doesn't mean they don't have this to show for it. But what they're telling you every time they put that ballerina shoe on is it's been worth it. So the thing that you're avoiding, if you will just decide that it is worth it, it is the one thing that's going to allow you to go and achieve what you're asking to achieve. So I'm just here to tell you guys, listen, when you're willing to follow up, end of the month or otherwise, it builds your credibility in the belief of what you're offering. If you're only willing to offer it once or twice, that person is going to sit back over there and think, well, she must, I mean, I hadn't heard from her in 2 months. Like she must really, I guess it's not that big of a deal. It builds your credibility. I've had so many times, Brittany has said the same thing. So many times people have said, thank you so much for being persistent, but not pushy. You know how you be not pushy? You be them focused. You be them focused. You don't wait until you're so desperate for a rank up or a tablet that you got to go beg and plead and prod. You be them focused all along. You're persistent because you're offering them something valuable, and your confidence allows you to have that posture of belief and that posture of passion and the willingness to follow up. So how do you end the month strong? Number one, if you've already earned the tablet, congratulations. Don't let up. Don't let yourself off the hook for the next 3 days. You're not going to find a leader in this company who's going to sit back and take the 3 days of the month off because they've achieved their own personal goal. It ain't going to happen. If that were allowed, listen, and this is probably going to sting somebody. If you have the right after earning your tablet to take the rest of the month off, what am I doing still working? Because I achieved Diamond 2 years ago. And so far in the last week, I've worked the same day of a surgery. I've worked on my kids' spring break. I'm working. I'm working because leaders serve, and there are so many of you who have goals and dreams. Some of you don't even know the dreams that you have yet, but I'm going to awaken them because that's my job. It's what I get to do. It's why I'm on this earth. So don't sit back and sell yourself short the last 3 days of the month because you think you've arrived because you hit your incentive. What about next month? What if you could be even closer to your goal next month based off of your activity now? Don't, just because you hit, like, y'all listen, you gonna let your kid after they graduate high school just kick back and take a couple of years off because they hit their goal? Heck no. I hope you ain't. If you are, I got a parenting book. But no, you're going to expect them to continue to fulfill their potential. Fulfill your potential. Don't let up. So end of the month, follow up, follow up, follow up. Help your people win. If they're not hitting their goals, why? Ask good questions. If you don't know why they're not hitting their goals, ask your leader good questions. Like, hey, I've analyzed, like, I don't understand why she's not hitting her goals. What could it be? Follow up, help your people hit their goals. The quickest way you win is by helping people win. So win, and know that everything that you leave on the field in March, it will pay in fruition in April, in May, in June, and July. So that's my advice. Guys, kill it. This, you have been blessed with an opportunity of company momentum, incentive, discounts, all the fun things. I'm telling you, don't wake up on April 1st knowing you could have done more. Just leave it all on the field. Let's just do what we can do. Leave it all on the field. And I'm telling you, you will be in a better position come April 1 with what we're about to launch in April. Listen, you want to be set up for that. So I'm so proud of what you guys have accomplished in March. I mean, so many times this month I've called Brittany like, I'm so grateful we get to do this. I'm so grateful we get to do this. And y'all, listen, we stay grateful on the mountaintop and in the valley and everywhere in between. But I'm just telling you, don't let up. Just know you can have everything here that you want to have, but it's going to start with a decision. It's going to start with a work ethic. Be ethic. Be somebody. Be the leader on your team that they say, man, that girl, she loves what she does and she loves to do it. And do it. Leave it all on the field. Okay. That's for real. I'll have. Stop the
Well, that was inspiring and like get you going, right? And I'm going to say, just like she said, you're going to wish that you work to the end of the month in April or in March for April 1st. Listen, Carrie and I know something that none of y'all know. You want to do the things now, because come September 1st, you will be so thankful you did the things now, because what's coming in September is massive. So what I'm saying is we don't hold back, right? You don't think, oh, I've got my 3 people for this month. I'll just wait to kind of like put them over to next. Don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. Follow up with all the people. Do the work. It's good work. And we're blessed to be able to do it. Carrie, any closing thoughts that won't incriminate us?
It's funny that you say that. I was actually working on my list of people that I will be connecting with, like in preparation. And honestly, you guys, I'm not tooting my own horn here. I am one of the top sellers in our company for Reset, like number 2 for all of July in the entire company. I predetermined success with that. When it was announced, I said, we're going to have success with that. So basically what you're going to learn about come September 1st, you have a decision to make. I'm going to have success with that. I can guarantee you is the best decision that you can make. And you will predetermine your ability right here by what you tell yourself, because your thoughts will work. Your brain will work to make your thoughts true about what you think. So if you say you're going to have success, guess what you're going to have, right? So all I can say is get in your inbox, be talking to people, be building relationships, love on people, tell them happy birthday, comment on their stuff. I've noticed a difference when I'm in other people's comments, that when I'm in their inbox, they are more likely to respond to my inbox when I'm in their comments, because it lets them know that we care. Because we do, that's the truth. We do care. We really do want this for them, for anybody, right? So there's just a systematic way to deliver the impact results that we want to have. And that means people don't want to know what you have until they know that you care. Let them know that you care. And your mind is about to be blown. What Christina talked about, there's a lot of alignment there coming with what she talked about thematically there. So prepare yourself.
Awesome. Awesome. And I'll see if I can get that 10-page document from Emily. I just sent her a message and we'll see if we can get that for follow-up and whatever. But Leon had asked about the slides. No, just go look on YouTube and you'll find the same video. You can screenshot them. But yeah, super great. Thank you guys so much for being here. Sherry, do you have any closing thoughts at all? No?
Just excitement. And that's the whole story, was be excited, be enthusiastic, go for it, because it's coming.
Yeah. So excited. So excited. And I think my biggest takeaway was that thing that you're avoiding. And we talked about this, I think last week, that thing that you're avoiding is going to be the thing that skyrockets you forward. So stop living in avoidance of the thing and just do the dang thing. Do the thing. All right, guys. Can't wait to see you guys over in the 60-day business reset group. Put your wins for today, please. Even if it's, I attended the team call, because that's a win for all of y'all. So go and put that in the wins for today, and we will see you very soon. Don't forget, last week of Go for No book club, and then next week we start boundaries. So have a great night. Bye.